When we first came to tour this villa and I saw this fireplace, it took me back to my childhood when I would go to my grandparents' house and we would play games and tell stories and just warm our toes in front of the fireplace. And I just thought, this would be a wonderful place for me to do the same thing with my grandchildren, for them to roast marshmallows and tell stories and play games and warm their toes. And so that, for me, touched my heart. I could imagine that there was hundreds of years of that happened in front of this particular fireplace. And so for the first year, Carlo and I did just that. We enjoyed this fireplace. But there were things that needed to be repaired. And so eventually we hired a contractor, to our dismay. The first time we turned on the fire, or lit the fire, I should say, the room filled with smoke. Was my dream destroyed? Okay, so maybe I'm being a little dramatic, but when we lit this fireplace and the smoke filled the room, it was as though my dream had been destroyed, potentially forever. The worst part of it for me, though, was when the contractor didn't take responsibility. It wasn't his fault. He didn't do anything wrong. His simple repairs could not have been the cause for the problem with the fireplace. But we decided that if he wasn't willing to take responsibility and do the repairs, that we had to somehow figure out where it went wrong and just take matters in our own hands. We weren't going to let anybody destroy our dreams. No. It was up to us to take the matters into our own hands at that point, and that we did.
So we knocked these bricks out of here because they were impeding the airflow, and I think it's going to work. Well, today's fire is an experimental one. This is an ancient fireplace. I know that it is centuries old. From all of the local experts that I talk to around here, it's medieval, which takes it 500 to 1,000 years back. I was under the impression that when they did things, they built the fireplaces, it was good for heating, for cooking, and so on. We have another fireplace just like this in the kitchen, not quite as big, but very close. And that was the oven. This was part of the original ancient house, the three-room house with the bamboo roof. This is great for heat. It's actually working really well. Now, when I say it's an experimental fire, the reason is because, well, a couple of things. When we first got here, we used this for heat for the first winter, and it worked pretty well, but we still things got smoky inside the house. And then about a year or so later, they did some work with the chimney, and they blocked the free flow of air. So it really wasn't respirating well. It wasn't breathing well enough. And since they did the work, it's actually, the house has been filling up with smoke even more. And Gia wasn't having it. And she's right. I'm not going to go down that road. So you saw we took some of the bricks out of the top, and we're experimenting to see if this works. Also, I've elevated this to see if by chance the smoke will free flow up the chimney rather than being so very low like it is right now. It's interesting. If you look back in there in the fireplace, you can actually see the rock mountainside. This was built right into the mountain. So it's not completely flat all the way back here. Now, the other thing is that when I talked to the architect, who is a bit of a historian himself, he said that these ancient houses, the walls were black from the smoke. So I guess maybe I should expect that if I kept things exactly the way they were. We'll just have black walls and house filled with smoke. It smells like smoke. So obviously that's not working for us. So I'm experimenting now to see if I need to raise the base of the fireplace, extend the chimney cap to get the right ratio so it aspirates well. We'll see. I'll keep you posted. So we recently had a blackout, and we got to thinking, wow, are we set up for blackout conditions? Could be a number of reasons why. It could be a problem in the community, it could be an EMP, or it could be a failure in our photovoltaic system. Either way, are we ready for an emergency? And so I got to thinking, let me try a little experiment here with a cheap little wood burning stove that we can keep right by the house, that we can use to just heat a pot of coffee on top of or even put something in like a tiny oven. This was really cheap, so I thought I'd try it. We're gonna open it now and see. I have no idea what to expect, so we're all gonna be surprised together. So they wrapped this thing well, so hopefully getting down here from China, it didn't get all damaged. So we will see. Okay, well, actually, not bad. Now this thing cost like 130 euros. So, well, it looks like a fairly good gauge of steel. Got the stovepipes. Wow. Huh. Nice firebox. Drawer. The legs are a pretty good gauge angle iron, so I think they'll last outside. And somebody's glove for packaging. I figured it out. These were not for packing. They're new gloves, but it's so dirty, it's that black iron. And also there's some sharp edges on here. So I think that was a nice little consideration in putting these gloves in here. Well, this didn't come with screws, meaning that they just slip in place. But that doesn't work. As soon as you lift the tub, the legs fall off. So I think what we're going to do is go ahead and drill some holes. I have some self-tapping screws, and this way we'll be able to fasten it in a little bit. You like my gloves? Okay, so if I do this, it'll probably be a good starter hole. Ooh, it got too hot in front of this fireplace. I had to change. Okay, now we're going to try something here. I have an idea. I don't know if it's going to work, but I think it will. It works. So I'm going to do the same thing on the other legs. And then it'll be stable. I don't know how they were thinking this was going to work without doing this. I really don't. Well, that's good and solid. So I guess we're done here. Okay, good. That settles that. Now put this thing together. No instructions, but it's not really needed. Let's see. Okay, that works. Okay. Now let's see. These are welded pieces. They look like a fairly good gauge of steel. I think it's going to last some time. That's funny how they did this, but this is it. This is it. And there's your little cooktop right there. Close the firebox. And got a couple of tools here. So, I don't know. That's it for $130. I'm happy. Well, a few hours ago we started this fire. And I'm happy to say that my little experiment was a success. The house is not filling with smoke. We're getting real good heat out of the fireplace. The thermal mass of all the stone in the walls is heating up, and we're getting a really nice radiant heat right now. And Gia's happy, right, Gia? Yeah, it's really good news. We're not going to have to do some major work, and I don't have to change the floor of this ancient fireplace either. So it's been a successful day.
All right, so here we have now Carlo is in the process of making his annual batch of lemons that will be made, or cutting his, or skinning his lemons, and they will become limoncello. Carlo,
Yeah,
take
so
it from here.
The reason I'm doing that is because we're running low. Now, this is actually only my third batch since we've been here, but I learned how to do it from our friends in Puglia, remember? And even just the first batch turned out really, really good. But we learned that it's the lemons that make the difference. There really are only 4 ingredients to great limoncello. It's not like that junk that you find in the grocery store, because that's filled with so many additives. There's no need to do that if you start with good lemons. Now, Italy does very well with lemons, all the way up as north as Tuscany. But frankly, the Amalfi Coast, well known, world famous for its limoncello. That's Campania or near Naples. Sicily, however, has the best citrus overall, from bergamot to lemons, limes, all sorts of variety of oranges, mandarini, all these that Sicily is known for. There are some that are only just here in Sicily, and they're very, very high quality. But what you do here is, in order to get the limoncello, is you have to get the zest off of that lemon, which is the yellow part. Now, as I'm doing this, I doubt you can see this, but I'm watching the oil just squirt up. You see that fine spray? I don't know if you can. It's just squirting up. That's the lemon oil. You notice I'm getting the yellow off of here, and that's where this yellow color came from. Okay, it's all natural, but you have to avoid getting as much of the white in there. Okay, keep the white out of it and go with just the yellow. Now, this principle would apply to mandarins, oranges, citrus of all sorts. As a matter of fact, it can be taken even further. I made some experiments. So when we show in the video where we complete this, I'll show you some of the other things that I've been able to make that either are great beverages or, for that matter, even medicinal. So here's your zest right here. And now, when I get done doing this batch here, this is going to be soaked for a good month in 96% alcohol. And in fact, Gia, why don't you give me that bottle? I'll show it right now. This is 96% alcohol. It's not like vodka. Vodka you buy at the store would be either 38 or 40% alcohol. This is 96%. And it really draws out the oils out of this peel. And so 1 month will be fine. And then in a month, we'll do in another video, we'll do finishing up the recipe and show you what we can do. So should be an interesting process. Love to have you along.
And we'd love to hear what your thoughts are on this recipe for limoncello.
Yeah,
if you try it, let us know.
Right, let us know if you have ideas, the things that you'd like us to try doing. We'll do it, you know, if it's possible, sure.
Se possibile.
So here's the zest of 12 of those lemons. And then to complete phase 1 of this, I just take that 96% alcohol and we're going to soak it for 4 weeks. It's going to make what you might call a tincture. The alcohol is going to draw out all of that lemon zest, that lemon essential oil. We saved the lemon juice and the rest of the lemons here. So we'll just cap this up and put it in storage. Good for 4 weeks. So stay tuned. In a subsequent video, we'll do the rest of the phase, and that's when we'll give you the recipe.
If you like this video, please be sure to share it with your loved ones or your friends, and be sure to subscribe so you don't miss the next video.
See you next time.
Ciao.